A BBC investigation has found there's been a rapid rise in Israeli settler outposts in the West Bank, an area occupied by Israel since it captured the territory in 1967. Now, there's no official record of how many settlements there are, but by piecing together hundreds of satellite images and information found on social media, the BBC has established there are close to 200 such outposts, half of them built in the last 5 years. Tonight, the Foreign Office has strongly condemned unprecedented levels of settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, also highlighted by the BBC. Here's Emir Nada.
Here in the occupied West Bank, Aisha and her husband Nabil say they're being forced from their home. This is the man she's accusing, a settler named Mosheh Sharvit. But Mosheh Sharvit paints a different picture of his presence here. He lives in an unauthorized settlement in the West Bank. It's what's known as an outpost. Illegal under both Israeli and international law. Illegal, but they're rarely removed, and in some cases they're later legalized. And outposts like Mosheh's, which are often farms, give settlers access to huge areas of land. It's outposts like these that are rapidly expanding since the beginning of the war in Gaza and are increasingly linked to violence and the mass expulsion of Palestinian families, while pushing Israeli settlements deeper into the West Bank and taking control over vast swathes of land. BBC Eye Investigations has analysed data and verified the location of 196 outposts across the West Bank. We found almost half were set up in the last 5 years. We join Aisha and Nabil again as they briefly return home 2 months after they were forced to leave. Mosheh Sharvit, the settler who they say forced them out, appears again. Earlier this year, Mosheh Sharvit was among a number of settlers sanctioned by the UK and the US for violence and intimidation against Palestinians in the West Bank. We've now discovered how a powerful organisation has supported some of these settlers. The World Zionist Organization is over 100 years old, and its settlement division is funded by the Israeli government. It manages land in the occupied West Bank on the state's behalf.
It's a body which runs very big part of a land which had been expropriated by the Israeli authorities in the West Bank to different Israeli settlements or settlers.
Documents obtained by an Israeli NGO and analysed by the BBC show how the settlement division has allocated large areas of land in the occupied West Bank to settlers. They forbid the building of any structures, but we found a pattern of settlers who've established their outposts on these lands. Neither the World Zionist Organization nor the Israeli government responded to our questions. Nor did Mosheh Sharvit, so we went directly to his outpost. We've spoken to a Palestinian woman who says you put a gun to her head. No, it was you, Mosheh Sharvit, who sanctioned internationally. So will you let the Palestinian families return to this area? Despite international sanctions on settlers like Mosheh Sharvit, they remain undeterred and increasingly powerful. Emir Nada, BBC News.